I was lucky enough, Torstein to come in, show me some early protos. I wasn't allowed to talk about it. I got really excited. You'll see why. Look at this. Look at this packaging. Look at how this arrives. This is the new...
This is the future right here. Yeah, well, it's the present now.
It is the present now, yes. Welcome to the Riders Lounge. I'm Shane Johnson, and somehow I dragged Tony Lefroy in once again with me to talk about some real techie stuff. And I'm going to be a little more, I don't have all the details on these yet. So this will be, I'm going to let Tony take a lot of this one, and I'm just going to kind of ask you a lot of questions, because I have a lot of questions.
Yeah, you ask questions, I'll answer questions.
Exactly.
How about that?
And I have a lot of questions about this.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at this. Look at this packaging. Look at how this arrives. This is the new pinnacle for Union?
Yeah, this is the future right here. Yeah, well, it's the present now.
It is the present now. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
All right, so if you didn't watch our Capita episode, Tony and I go way back. Tony's worked for C3, which is Coal Union Capita, for 19 years.
Yeah,
He's been with those guys a long time. Tony's a wealth of knowledge, a wicked snowboarder, an amazing snowboard tech. We can get into some of that later too. And like I say, we have a lot of history together. We've done a lot of awesome road trips.
Average snowboarder, okay.
And Tony's a pretty good snowboarder. Tony has a bit of a race pedigree too.
No, I don't.
Tony was a ski racer.
No, I crashed real hard in Baker last year. Just asked Johan the whole.
Oh, we saw it.
The whole weekend.
We saw it.
There's no racing pedigree over here. There's crashing pedigree. All right.
All right. Yeah. I'm glad we got to that. That's right.
We'll cut that out.
I forgot that text message I got from Johan of you eating shit on that first corner.
Every corner.
Yeah. You're not going to hear the end of that.
No.
All right. So we're going to get focused here because there is a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
These are amazing. I mean, this whole thing weighs about as much as one binding. So we'll just bring them out. Let's check these out.
You bring them out.
Let's check them out.
You
Right.
bring 'em out.
I get to pretend to be the consumer on this one.
Yeah. You bring them out. The unveiling.
So the Union Lab.
Yep.
A percentage of this binding is going to be made in Italy, or all this binding is going to be made in Italy?
I mean, all the forged parts are made in Italy, and I think most of the binding is manufactured in Italy right now. Don't quote me on that, and I don't want to be wrong there, but yeah.
Well, if you've watched our Union episode, there's one guy doing the forged carbon stuff too.
Total G.
And he's a beauty.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Every forged carbon piece is made in Italy. Yeah.
Tony, these weigh nothing.
Yeah.
What is the binding called? It's the Source.
This is the Source FC. So this lab project is a project that started quite a long time ago. It's 10 years ago, and it's finally coming to fruition with product. And the first thing that we're releasing is this Source binding. We have two models, the Source and the Source FC. The base plate on both bindings is the same base plate. You get a strap, a high back, and a heel cup, but difference between the Source and the Source FC. So that's kind of the big change between the two. Both bindings are very unique in that they don't have a disc. There's no disc on these bindings. So when you look at them closely, you mount the binding to the snowboard with two screws. The back screw mounts to the board, and then the front screw pivots to give you your angle. The angles are plus 21 to minus 3, so there's a great range, not a Mark Fawcett range.
Well, it's all about application.
It's all about application.
It's all about application.
He likes to go way on the front.
Me too.
Yeah.
I get crazy too.
He's up at the 24, 27 degrees a lot of the time. So for a lot of those riders out there, this is going to fit them. It's gonna be fine. I mean, the biggest thing that you notice with this binding outside of that two screw hole pattern is our halo technology. So this halo technology is something that we've developed over the last couple of years, and essentially the base plate is almost just like a donut. So it sits like a donut like this, and then sits on your snowboard, and then this forged carbon piece sits inside that base plate.
Oh, yes.
And what that allows for is, tremendous toe to heel response, but still gives you some nice lateral movement. And then, as always with union bindings, it promotes that natural board flex. The other biggest thing about this base plate is we've basically shaved the bottom of the binding right off.
Yeah.
And I mean, you mentioned Torstein. Torstein was huge in development when it came to this binding. So when you look at the base plate of the binding, it's like millimeters thick, and what that allows for is to get you closer and closer and closer to the snowboard. And it's something that you've probably talked to Torstein about. And he, for years, is trying to, he's shaving off the bottoms of his boots and trying to get his binding shaved off so he can get lower and lower and lower to the snowboard. Lower to your snowboard, lower center of gravity, better balance. Better riding, and it's something pretty incredible when everybody gets a chance to get on these. I first rode them a few years ago, and I rode like a very heavily prototype binding. The base plates that I rode were out of our 3D printer, and the binding was parted up, I think, with Atlas Pro parts. So I rode this 3D printed binding with Atlas Pro parts, and when I rode it, those first couple of runs, I kept looking down because the feeling was incredible. It felt like there was no bindings under my feet. It felt like I was standing right on my snowboard.
Yeah, that's incredibly thin.
And that, that's something that, Torstein and kind of the team at Union has been working towards. And when you get that feeling, it's incomparable. You can't really explain it till you go ride it.
Well, and the response is going to be that much more immediate. And this is getting nerdy, but it's the reality. When you get that much less material, the reaction's going to be that much more immediate to your snowboard.
Absolutely.
Which, of course, Tor is looking for that kind of stuff, given how he rides. The heel cup is obviously forged as well.
Yeah, forged carbon heel cup,
Full
forged carbon high back,
yep.
Forged carbon tray on the bottom. The rest of the binding on the base plate is made.
It's got the powder plow, as we call it, but it's flared.
It's flared, yeah. The rest of the base plate is made with, our proprietary Union plastic, but you got forged, and then obviously a very unique strap on this binding.
Yeah.
This is the only binding that has this ankle strap. It's obviously shaved down to nothing to eliminate weight. And then the really unique thing as well is we actually have 2 toe ratchets. So there's 2 toe ratchets on this.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, that we eliminate weight, because we're all about getting low to our snowboard and getting these things as light as possible.
Well, even this with the box felt like what one binding normally would be.
Right, and that's like when I compare it to Union, and we know Union as a brand is overall an incredibly light brand. So I'm not going to comment about any other bindings. I'm not really aware of weights of other binding brands, but I'm sure when you consider we're comparing it to maybe the lightest binding brand in the world with some or most of the lightest bindings, you can imagine how light this is versus the rest of the industry. It's an incredibly lightweight binding. We make a second model called the Source. The Source is the same tray. It's got, the same strap that we put on our Falcor. It's got, more of a regular plastic high back, a Duraflex high back, and an extruded aluminum heel cup. So just with having those parts, I believe that bindings, I think that pair is 680 grams or 640 grams.
And even that one, when we were at the trade show, I mean, that's the one I kept grabbing, just being like, this is crazy. This is even crazier than the one that was crazy.
Even the heavy one, which is, 6 to, mid 600 grams, is bananas. It's so light compared to everything else on the market. And I've spent most of the last year riding the regular Source.
And the forged components on that one then will still be the tray?
It's just the tray on that one. Extruded aluminum heel cup, plastic high back, and then that, the same strap as what we've got on the Falcor. So that hybrid strap. Yeah.
And the Duraflex or the forged carbon, you will find there's probably a percentage of response out of this heel back a little bit, or this high back a little bit faster.
For sure.
From the Source. Obviously, being carbon, it's going to be right now. Duraflex has probably a delay time and then an engagement maybe.
You're always going to get maximum performance when
out of forged
carbon. Absolutely. It's the quickest response, best performance, always, always, always. But you're dealing with a very stiff material, so your performance has to match that performance.
Well, again,
right?
so the type of rider, you know, you're going to be honest with yourself too, between the Source and the Source FC, the type of rider you are and how much immediate response you want to. I mean, but you pair this with a Megadeth or something like that, and that's
we put these
demo
on,
days. I gotta do that this year. I
It's-
gotta make sure I get
it's
on
shocking.
that setup.
It's
Yeah,
shocking,
yeah.
and anybody that picks up that Megadeth with these binding,
Just be like,
it's doesn't even seem real because you can't even really believe how incredibly light it is. But you still get incredible performance. And the great thing is when you're getting it from Capita and Union, you're getting incredible durability as well. There's no lack of durability when it comes to these two products, and especially this Source binding. It is bomb-proof and bulletproof, and you know, rides like we said, but it's also going to last you a long time, which is great.
Grade 8 hardware, as always. You guys know I'm a nerd about that because I build motorcycles. Let's get into the goodies.
Yeah, I mean, it comes with this cool little pack. Every box comes with a card. You get to be part of a club because you're buying such an incredibly high-end exclusive binding. There's not going to be a lot of these around. And then in your pack, especially with this one, because of the hardware and because of the binding, pardon me, that we built, you know, Martino put special hardware in this. So the hardware is actually...
Oh, it's probably even elevated from grade 8 then. It's
absolutely
probably not even standard.
So
yeah.
you get, you know, a special little, you know, Torx wrench and Allen key so that you can manage your hardware properly, because every gram counts. We had to use this hardware to shave off more weight, so you get the proper tool to use, because it's not your regular old number 3 posi driver.
Yeah.
It's that same hardware all the way around. Every single pair comes with obviously your inserts, if you want to call them, to drop in there. Comes with your screws, which are still your number 3 posi driver. And then with our forward lean, you still have your forward lean adjustment. It's not change on the fly like we know a lot of Flads are, but there's a little screw on the back side of the high back. Every single pair comes with three different levels of forward lean, so you have those 3 different adjustments. We know that Foz is going right to number 3 because he's the max forward lean guy, but you still get the chance to change your forward lean out. So if you're one of those people that wants to change it on the hill, you take the little pieces, you take the tool, and you can change it on the fly on the hill. But otherwise, you know, it's always better to do it in the nice worn cabin when you're back.
Okay, because once you know, you know. Like I have been adding a bit to my front foot only, nothing on the back, and I like it. So that's you're right, Tony. That you set that up in the cabin, you're good to go. That's an easy tweak.
And I riding the regular Source, the regular Force. The Forci is always in my brain. The regular Source.
Yeah.
And I think I put the number 2s or the number 3s in there. I put them in. I rode them all year long last year, just as is. I'm like you guys. I like a little bit of forward lean. It helps for that turning. It helps when you get old and weak and tired. You need that extra little bit of help. But yeah, it comes in this little pack and you're good to go. And the nice thing about this little pack too is if you want to just, as with all Union, if you want to just take it out, you know, you can take all the pieces out and you can use this as your glasses case or whatever you want to use it for.
Slide a cell phone in there even to keep it insulated.
If you're a Nelson, you can use it for other things. You know, you can do whatever you want, right?
Grow broccoli?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, I mean, if you're looking at this binding, you know the type of rider you are. You know why you're looking at a binding like this. But also, just having an incredibly light setup for daily endurance is also a big deal.
Totally.
And even hanging your foot off the damn chairlift.
Totally.
As stupid as that sounds.
Yeah.
All these things kind of, you know, take a little bit of strength throughout the day, and this is just, this is going to make the riding efficient. That much more efficient, for sure.
And I think we're going to work hard at bringing this to the masses. I would expect us down the road to expand this category. We're going to see more of these 2 screw bindings with, you know, closer to the board, better center of gravity, and, you know, it is the future.
Yeah.
And when everybody gets on these and rides them, you'll really understand how incredible this feels when you get out and ride it.
Well, and there was always an argument about the dead zone, too, when you had a big old insert pack and you had your 4-pack, you know, that's a bigger bond. It's a bigger dead zone, so to speak. So this is now allowing for some more free flex underfoot. Again, with a binding this thin, more free flex underfoot again too. And foot steering, which I freaking love with my back foot. That's going to be, you're going to feel it, and it's going to work really, really well.
Well, and I mean, we should have talked about it, you know, and it's good that you mentioned that about the bond with the disc. You know, this didn't happen yesterday.
There's a lot of R&D to make sure.
This has been in development for years. And if you consider the level of riders on our team, like Torstein, who have had a lot of time on this, you know the force and the stress that Torstein puts on his gear. Everybody's seen him. Everybody watches him at NST. People have seen his film projects. These are durable, and they're as connected and locked in as any 4-hole pattern out there. Yeah. So you can really trust and be sure that you're locked in, and you're gonna be locked in with these things.
No, that's freaking incredible.
Yeah.
Well, Tony, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thanks, brother.
I'm gonna keep trying to drag Tony on these with us because, like I say, he's a wealth of knowledge. As always, we're brought to you by Cole Headwear, Baldface Lodge, the James Brand Knives, and This Is Coffee. Everybody, please hit that subscribe. I hate asking, but it's just one of those things. It's how we keep this rolling. And as the subscribers keep going up, we keep being able to bring you more of these awesome shows and dragging our buddies in that really know what they're talking about. So hopefully we see Tony on another show. And thanks for watching.